Welcome to this week's LendingCon 2024 podcast for everything investment, development, and hospitality related. I'm your host, Dan.
And I'm Jim. We're thrilled to be your guides through the LendingCon world with thought-provoking leaders in those areas. You'll see financial, investment, hospitality experts, hear from them, and what to expect from them in August.
Whether you're a seasoned hotelier or just getting into the industry, you can't afford to miss meeting with these professionals at LendingCon 2024.
This podcast is intended to let you hear about all the latest trends, strategies, and innovations in the lending world. Make your plans now to attend LendingCon 2024 in Orlando.
This two-day inspirational event was created to bring you together and allow you to network and learn from industry experts, thought leaders, and innovators in the industries.
So join us on August 7th and 8th as we explore the future of lending and development at LendingCon in Orlando, Florida, the Rosen Center on iDrive.
Stay tuned for today's guest and exclusive LendingCon interview with Mr. Scott Watson, Chief Sales and Marketing Officer of M3 Brands Account.
Don't miss out. Stay tuned for our interview and reserve your spot at LendingCon.com today.
And welcome back to LendingCon Podcast 2024. We're live here with Scott Watson from M3. Looks like you're kind of busy there, Scott. Where are you today?
We are in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina at High Tech's annual conference.
Wow, that's Charlotte's my hometown. I grew up just north of Charlotte, just a little ways, so I'm all too familiar with that area there. So there's a lot of stuff going on there, a lot of high-tech stuff going on.
There is. The show's been very busy. It's not quite up to caliber with LendingCon or AhoaCon, but it is right up there at one of the top shows that we attend every year.
Well, that's good. Well, we're definitely glad that you're taking a little bit out of your time while you're there at High Tech to join us here on our LendingCon podcast to talk a little bit about LendingCon and talk a little bit about M3 and a little bit about what you have going on there with M3. And I know M3 continues to grow. I mean, you just mentioned 2-3 conferences that you're currently attending. So you guys are continuing to grow year over year. What do you contribute to that? What do you think the attributes of this are? Why do you continue to grow so much?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. I appreciate the question. I would attribute it primarily because our sole focus is hospitality. You know, as you walk around the conference floor here or in other places, you see a lot of vendors, I think, that stumble into hospitality, but we ran into the open arms of hospitality 25 years ago. It's all we do. It's all we've ever done. So we're able to take the most current advances in technology and make sure that they're applied in a way that makes sense and can be cost effective for our hospitality customers, all while giving them a solution that's tailored specifically to our industry.
So why did you jump into the hospitality? What was the thing that got you into solely working with hospitality several years ago?
Our founder is a gentleman named John McKibben with McKibben Hotel Management and McKibben Hotels. He's a third generation hotelier. And about 25, 26 years ago, he got tired of having to do accounting in generic systems or even in Excel. If they had, I think it was probably Lotus 123 at that point in time. And so what he decided to do, he said, I might as well write an accounting solution that we can use. And just about the time he wrote that piece of software, this funky little thing called the internet came out. And instead of putting copies on floppy disks, for the audiences that can remember what a floppy disk is, as well as Lotus 123, and having everybody install those locally on machines, he said, why can't we deliver a software tool in a software as a service environment? So we were kind of in the cloud before the clouds had even started forming. But so he did it to satisfy a specific need at McKibben Hotels. At that point in time, they were doing the accounting for companies like MMI, the old Day Hospitality, which is Davidson today, and a few others. And they said, hey, we love what you've done. Can you use it for our accounting as well? And John, being the entrepreneur that he is, he said, I think I'm onto something. So he hired his first salesperson probably 24 years ago and took it to market. And we've been going at it ever since.
That's rad.
at.
It's funny, he starts talking about McKibben, MMI, Lotus 123. I remember all that stuff. I'm Jane Sturdivant from MMI. I remember
Yes.
I used to work for them for a long
Yeah.
time. So yeah, making me feel old here.
Well,
So you've been a sponsor for LendingCon since its inception. So I'm sure
Yeah.
you're attending a HOA, high tech, LendingCon. I'm sure there's some you have to say no to. So what made you choose LendingCon as one that you do want to attend?
well, it's a great question, Jim. Thank you for asking. I met Jan probably a couple of years before he put the LendingCon concept together. And when he shared what he was doing, I just felt that being able to support it, even if it had no direct impact on our business, I just thought conceptually that it was a great tool to offer the industry, a great offshoot that a niche that nobody else was filling. And prior to hospitality, my background was in banking and financing, and I saw how difficult sometimes it can be for folks to get loans and find lending relationships as they try to build their asset portfolio, expand, remodel, do PIPs, whatever it is. And so I just thought it was a great concept to get behind. Little did I know that would lead to business down the road. So I'm glad that it's turned out to be a mutually good decision for us. But I just have a lot of faith in John and the vision, or in Jan and the vision he has for the conference, and I wanted to be part of it from the very beginning.
This podcast brought to you by IHRMC, the go-to hospitality management company in Orlando, Florida, and the power behind LendingCon 2024. Yeah, and you have been a part of that. I've met you several times at the past 3 LendingCons that we've had. And Jan, you're also, Scott, on the advisory board for LendingCon, so you get to sort of help Jan make those decisions about what's going on with the LendingCon. So how is that? Have you enjoyed that? Has that been a challenging escapade, or has it been rewarding being on the advisory board for such a great conference?
It's been very rewarding, and regardless of how I look at my history, I realize that I am very inferior in many ways of the group that Jan has put together. They are a group of seasoned professionals that not only understand hospitality, but they understand that the new generations are going beyond hospitality management, and they're really taking on real estate investment operations and expanding their own empires, for lack of a better word. So he is seeing where the trends are going before they develop, and he's assembling a group of advisory board members and participants in LendingCon that can help all the attendees get whatever answers they need.
Yeah, it's becoming a really large event. Last year we had close to 700 people sign up and attend to it. This year promises to be even bigger and better than that. We've got 60 some different vendors that's going to be there this year. So as you said, it's growing every year. And with that, all the vendors such as yours, M3 and all of that's growing as well.
So, Scott, what would you say to a new operations person, and me being someone who uses M3 at my property, about the modules? And I don't want to go too deep into it because we could be here all day, but can you kind of just highlight real quick what you think, especially for new investors, how they can make their business aspect easier by using it for invoicing, daily reports, budgeting, and so forth?
Yeah, what we've tried to do is take everything that we believe hoteliers need to do on a day-to-day basis and make sure that functionality is inherently available inside the solution. Then we even take some of the want to do's and the wish to do's and hope to do's and throw some of that in as well. But we realize that revenue comes in at the beginning of each day from the property management system. And in the past, whether it was the old green sheets to throw us back again to the old days, or just manually keying, the first thing we try to do to introduce data integrity and efficiencies is we map all that PMS data directly into the daily report. The system prevents you from rolling a day if it's not in balance. So not only do we provide the automation on the front end, but we almost prohibit mistakes from being made inside the system. Then once they're in and they've rolled the day, they can do everything from pay their bills, manage their AR, run their financial reports, manage your inventory. There's just a myriad of modules inside the system. And one of the great things that we've done is we realized that the product, as we have had it, is great for many, many hoteliers, but there's a lot of entry-level hoteliers or smaller portfolios that may not need the complete ERP. So one of the things we've done here at High Tech, we actually did it at AHOA first, but we're replicating it here, is we've launched a brand new product specifically for smaller portfolios and select service hotels that kind of takes some of the great things you want to see in an ERP, scopes it down a little bit, and comes in at a little bit lower price point. So we're really trying to make sure that we're there to fit for every single segment of the market.
The light version.
For light version, for like hotels and things that don't have full F&B services, that's really helpful.
So
Yep.
Yeah.
and then you probably I just know based on the ones that I've used, it seems like you have integration with a lot of different PMSs in a lot of areas like that probably assist the hoteliers in this.
We do. And what we've always tried to do, there's a couple of things that we pride ourselves on because we believe it just makes for a better customer experience, and that's trust and integrity. And not just integrity in the way we do business, but integrity on how we manage that data. You know, there are systems that are out there that you put a phantom email name on a file and it comes in a back door or something like that. We work directly with the PMS providers. They know what information we're gathering. So if by some chance Hilton knows their files didn't process that night, we know it in advance. And so we can notify our customers, and so we know there's a global issue with the Hilton files. We're talking to Hilton. We'll have your daily report information in as soon as it becomes available. So we do that with the Hiltons, with the IHGs, with Marriott's, and who knows what system Marriott is going to be using tomorrow. But we are on top of it and usually know in advance and are able to map those solutions into hours before they hit the market.
So the brands notify you, or is that just like an alert that goes on in your M3 that notifies you so you can notify the public?
It depends. If it's a change in PMSs, which is what some are going through, is we have relations with them. They'll let us know that there's a new version coming out, or Marriott notifies that they're making changes. We get with the PMS vendors and we reformat whatever that data mapping and in those files need to look like. The other instance that I notified you of is if we know there are file issues, they will actually notify us in advance, or we also track it all internally. So if we see at 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning that files aren't coming through, we're able to investigate it usually before the start of business for most of our customers and have an answer for them before they even know there's a problem.
So that means you're sitting up all hours of the night staring at the computer and making sure that all of our reports go out. Thanks for that. I appreciate
Make sure that Jim walks in for 7:30. That jail report's ready to go.
I know Scott wears multiple hats. I didn't know you wore an all-nighter hat as well. So.
Well, no, I can't say that I can map a PMS into the accounting system, but we have people that do.
You got a guy.
We always have people to help us with everything we need to have help with. So
Absolutely.
that's great.
So, Scott, anything new on the horizon for M3 2024? Anything?
Yeah. Well, I mentioned the new product launch. The product is called Core Select. So it is relatively new in the rollout. I think we've officially had it out since just before AHOA. And we have, I think, 50 properties signed up on that new platform. So that's one thing we're very excited about. And then also, we're not quite ready to make a public announcement yet, but we are getting ready to dramatically invest in the overall AHOA relationship. So I think you'll be seeing some fun announcements coming out on behalf of M3 and AHOA in the coming weeks.
So you're doing a partnership with AHOA? Is that what I'm hearing now? Or
I didn't say any of that. I didn't say any of that.
Will we know by LendingCon?
We may know by LendingCon, yes. So Dan and Jim, you guys get the quasi scoop now.
Nice.
We'll share the news at LendingCon.
It's always like the interviewer's thing is they're pressed for that very the breaking moment. You know, we want to be the ones to know what's going on with that. So Lyndon.
No, I have no immediate plans to run for president, but my team is doing the due diligence.
Nice. Well, we're excited to hear what that may be at LendingCon. And with that being said, what would you say to encourage people to attend LendingCon? And if they do attend LendingCon, what can they expect to meet by meeting you there?
Well, my role there is really twofold. It's obviously to be there as an advisory board member on behalf of LendingCon, but it's also there to represent M3. So I'd love to just be able to visit with people about the opportunity to really transform the back office of their organization. But for people that are wondering whether they should attend or not, I would say don't just read the name LendingCon. It has evolved to so much more than that over the years. And I would really say if there's any aspect of real estate management, and if hotels are a part of that, they need to come check it out and see what it's all about.
Definitely. It's going to be, you're right. It has grown. It started out as a LendingCon just for hospitality and hoteliers, but as you just stated, it has grown to this huge event where there's lots of different vendors and lots of information gathering there, a lot of experts there for all levels of the industry that's there. So you and your team both will be there, correct?
We will.
Excellent. Well, last word, Mr. Scott. Anything last word you want to give to our listener audience?
No, Dan and Jim, I appreciate the time today. We value the LendingCon relationship. And I will say since we were at LendingCon last year, the numbers that we shared have changed just a little. We're up to about 1,000 customers total, and we crested over the 8,000 property mark. So we're on a nice trajectory, and we owe it all to great partners like you all.
Great. Well, congratulations on that. We look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks in Orlando.
Thank you. Have fun the rest of your time in Charlotte. We'll see you in August.
Thank you very much. We'll see you there.
Thanks, Scott.
Bye-bye.
Bye.